All right, the value of health versus ingredients. The value of health versus ingredients is based on what? Preservatives. What is most convenient? College campuses need the convenience, but yet still, what is the average college student actually doing? Going to class, eating quick, not even paying attention to what everything they're touching, and moving on as quick as possible. But yet still, they still have to remember the fact that we had COVID that just passed. But yet still, people fail to realize what? You still can catch it. So why would I actually rush to go get a COVID shot when literally, how can I say like this? I'm someone in a city that hates me, but yet still, I'm a government child. So I'm going to go where I know I could be a quote-unquote friendly to an extent, whether good or bad. Whether you kill me in this city or not, it doesn't matter to me. But the value of it is the fact that people will actually put the government in that liability situation just to basically say what? We're going to put salt on a nice little bridge and literally just throw it back into the water. Not smart, but stupid. But how can I say like this? You wonder why the polar ice caps actually are quote unquote melting, but yet still, I'm not blaming Massachusetts, but literally if Massachusetts is doing it, what other countries or facilities or anybody who doesn't understand the value of what salt is? We have salt water, yes, but it's soluble to an extent at large quantities. How deep is the water? That's the point. Whatever doesn't dissolve still drops below. How smart are you to understand the value of an undertow valued and compare it to current? You can't control the body of water, but literally it can sure and hell dry up with enough what? Sunlight, and you wonder why things are actually drying out in this case. Think smart. So even with the ecosystem, I had Esperion as an account at one point in time, but they kind of locked me out. But I'm not even mad at that though, because literally y'all were playing with all my money, just the fact of thinking that I had money hidden and I don't. But how can I say it like this? You don't win or lose, but literally you lose as an economy, because literally you believe that what you see is what you think you see, but literally I'm still getting around accordingly. And what's the problem? You're still taking public transportation, driving to work, and still paying that nice little $5 a gallon just to get to work. How smart are you to understand that the vehicles that you're actually making are not built for that purpose? And why, how can I say Biden actually passed that grant, but yet still, you can't pass all that money through a system real quick, because literally people just haven't opened their mind up to the fact of what the value of that gallon that you pay for that $5 of watered down gas that you're paying. So you can do it location, or you can even do name entity. They will actually badmouth you on the name of the entity itself more so, just because of the fact of literally, let's say I like BP, Amoco, Exxon, etc., etc. I have my preference of gas, so be it. But yet still, what's the value of that gas to the next guy who actually is in a smaller city with a different name but can guarantee that quality of gas? Priceless. So I'll give you this. That 1997 car that you have is riding on what? A $5 gallon of gas, right? But what's the quality of that gas then in comparison to now? Shit, because literally the engine wasn't made for that. So literally, how can I say this? You could take that old ass car and put a V8 engine in it, or can you? But the value of a V8 engine versus a V6 is that the fact that the price is a lot cheaper because it's easy to, how can I say, produce. The V6 engine is not obsolete. Foreign speaking, yes, is not obsolete. Domestically, almost, just because of the fact of, how can I say like this? Foreigners understand the value of technology in the manner of making it efficient. US understands the value of making things cost efficient, which is good and bad. So what's your liability for today? Your liability is basically how long can you walk in the shoes that you wear today, the quote-unquote bike that you ride, and literally the mind frame that you can keep to know that your body is regulating itself off of all those improper impurities that you're actually putting into it that your body wasn't made for. Splenda, all those other, how can I say, artificial sugars are artificial. Your body is not made for it. What was the key term? Sugar. So therefore, what are you doing to your body when you're actually quote-unquote saying that you're helping it, but you're really not, because you're actually exposing it to some things that you wasn't grown up on? How smart are you for that one? Long story short, running versus walking versus driving versus public transportation versus the overall value of what? Health. To surmise it, air quality, efficiency, and what's your purpose out of life? Longevity, you might want to walk a little bit more. But yes, still, how many people do you actually see walking actually straight up more so and walking long distances? No, everybody's just in a rush. But yes, still, everybody wants to sleep to that last moment. Go out the night before and have that great drink that I just paid maybe $30 to $40 on a check for, just because I had to eat, because I got too drunk because it tastes that damn good, quote unquote. But yes, still, that $40 that you just put out, you could have bought a bottle of wine, one, Parlez-vous Français, I give you that one. Two, you could have cooked your own meal and know what you're actually putting in it, and literally understand that you control what you're actually eating, instead of saying that I got quote unquote food poisoning from quote unquote Whole Foods, and who I actually had to correct properly, because who puts fruit with pizza dough? It's cross-contamination if either party was to actually go bad. The fruit can go bad, okay, yeah, it's in a package, but the dough, what's the value of that dough in a box? It leaks. Unlike fruit, it's acidic to an extent. So therefore, why do you think you get quote unquote drug manipulation, one, but two, alcohol in prisons? They understand the value of fruit and how to make it, and it becomes what? Alcohol, if you know how to do it properly. I don't play that game, but literally, either way, you understand what I hope you understand what I'm actually trying to tell you, because literally, you yourself as a people crucify those who don't want to actually accept your technology, but yet still you obsolete the most efficient things. The value of offline training. What's the value of offline training? How many computers do you actually have as of this very moment that literally you can log on and can say that you're not on the internet? You actually have to go into the system and validate hopefully that you're not being ghost protocols, and literally, how can I say it like this? Pray that somebody's not watching behind the screen, but yet still, people wonder why, how can I say it like this, when people, or as far as the older generation, don't even want to mess with technology, because literally they're that smart to understand that literally they grew up on principles before you that actually has buildings like behind me potentially stand for centuries, if not decades, if not millenniums, if not beyond that. Because what's the value of 9/11? The engineering behind the Twin Towers. How many years did that building stand before those actual airplanes hit it? Airplanes, flying airplanes. Think of the word flying. It's flying. That means it has propulsion, inertia, the whole principle of physics, and yet still weight. How long did it actually quote unquote take before it fell? I hope you understand the value of why I cried when I actually had to go through the bullshit that quote unquote people want to put me through, but yet still I called it out online just because of the fact that literally the small talk don't get nowhere. Because literally, we have the power of using the internet. I don't brag about it, but nobody knows what actually was taking place in my house. Nobody, but yet still, you wonder why, quote unquote, I'm here flying or driving or whatever the case may be, and still, quote unquote, efficient. If you understand the value of genetics and drugs, and literally the value of intelligence more so, who actually slows things down just to make sure that you actually understand what's actually being presented? The handicap. Why? You never know if they have a learning curve, because nobody actually has the patience to actually understand what they actually hold up here and that they're telling you in their way of presenting it. But how can I say like this? We started off with the wagon wheel more so. My leg. The unicycle. Then we got wheelchairs. Then it became actually what? Motorized. So yeah, we're becoming more efficient, but yet still nobody actually understood the value of what a Tesla actually is, which is what? Just a driving remote control car. Honestly, it's just that simple. Only difference is based on computer chips, which anybody can master, but yet still he was smart enough to trademark it and patent it, so therefore say bye-bye to you and see how much smarter you could be more than him in this case. So how much smarter are you in this case to actually not want to invest, but yet still invest in the market, but yet still drive it everywhere? What are you actually doing? Are you being more efficient, or you're actually stunting in this case improperly? Because literally, you still got to find a place to charge that vehicle. But how smart do you even think that far that Biden already gave you that option? But yet still, you still choose to drive on $5 a gallon instead of walking maybe 2-3 miles to get to work. Especially on a weather-friendly day, better said. In the South, you're not going to do that, honestly, just because of the fact that literally, you go to Albany, Georgia, 31705, and try to walk the hills on a regular summer day. I guarantee you're going to have at least 5 to 6 bottles of water, because literally whatever you're wearing, you're going to be super soaked. meaning super saturated from all the sweat that you actually are putting out just from carrying the stuff that you have, the clothes that you're potentially wearing, and the humidity that you actually face. Tint is almost obsolete at that magnitude of being that far in a humidified area more so. So if you understand the value of health being wealth, you listen to this principle and apply it to yourself. That's the purpose of Instagram. That's the purpose of YouTube. R_Hammond at EDU. No shortcuts, but literally R_HAMMOND_@AT_EDU. I just taught you something for today. Let's see how well you make your Friday, or you choose to eat out and spend that money that you can't even quote unquote want to take the time out and actually learn how to cook at that principal level. Bye-bye. But don't blame the New York City rats on why they are the way they are, because you're actually almost on that magnitude of where your rats are almost actually too friendly.